Hey, I'm Jordan Flair with a Measure Up, and today we're on site. We're gonna measure a house, and we're gonna show you how to do it. First things are to have all the right tools, right? So we've got a 100-foot measuring tape. We've got some handy dandy graph paper. You're gonna need a sharp pencil and a great eraser, and then you're gonna want a laser measuring tool for accuracy. The very first step here is we're gonna start hand sketching out the perimeter of the home, both on the first and second floor. Just want to get those walls drawn so that I can then attach measurements to each of those walls. We do want to note things like the front porch here, and then you'll notice that the first floor and the second floor actually differ as far as how far they come out and the way that they're shaped. So we want to make sure we, note those differences in our hand sketch. It doesn't have to be perfectly to scale, but the closer you can kind of approximate it, the better. The garage was 22 feet across from corner to corner, and this left side of the home was 45 feet 8 inches. This is where your 100-foot long measuring tape comes in real handy. So this little laser tells you to 1/8 of, or even a 16th, depending on how you have it set up. Things to point out on the sketch when you're going around the outside of the house, like we're standing right now on a patio. There's also a fireplace over here to your left, and those are things that we're gonna note on the sketch. So whether I write the word fireplace or patio, whatever, you wanna note the differences between the lines that you're drawing so that you know what's a heated area, what's an unheated area, what's a finished area, an unfinished area. You need to know when you go back to get your square footage, what was a porch, a patio, living room, etc. All right, so one thing that a lot of people do get confused on is that we actually get to count the square footage from the outside of the siding to the outside of the siding. So for example, when I'm measuring across the front of this garage, I'm measuring from this corner of the outside all the way across to the corner right here. So that's a measurement of 22 feet. It's not measured from the inside, it's measured from the outside, and every inch counts. But once we have our measurements all the way around, and we know we want to add up this from side to side and from front to back to make sure that those align from side to side, so that's a quick way to check your measurements and make sure that what you got from this corner back to here is equivalent to what you got from here to here. It's just a really quick way to check yourself in the field in case you need to go back and redo a measurement. Next step is to go inside, check out what counts as heated and unheated, finished and unfinished, and which areas we'll get to count in the all-important HLA, heated living area, that's then reported in the multiple listing service. So we're standing in the garage, and the reason we're checking out the garage is we have to subtract this square footage from the heated finished square footage that's going to be listed in the MLS, because this space is not heated, you don't see any vents anywhere, and it's not fully finished either. What I'm doing is as I go around the finished area inside the home, I'm looking for heat and air supply vents to see which areas of the home are heated and cooled. I'm also looking at things like where are there fireplaces or entrances, just so I can note those on my sketch, so I make sure I stay oriented on my sketch and I know what counts and doesn't count. For example, a fireplace doesn't count as heated living square footage on the exterior of the home, so we actually have to subtract that out from the living area. So one other component that you're looking for on the inside, most houses, unless you're in a ranch, they've got stairs of some kind. The stairs, in this case, wrap up and around, but sometimes it's just one single flight of stairs. But what you want to check for is underneath those stairs, is there any type of storage? In this case, we do have storage. Because there's storage under these stairs, we actually get to count the space under the stairs and the space on the second floor where the stairs would sort of fold up to. Even though that area is open on the second floor, there's space under here, and the stairs get to fold up to the second floor and count in the heated square footage up there. So even though only part of this is accessible, because there's any storage at all, it all gets to count, both on the first and second floor, so we don't have to subtract that out of the heated square footage. As you're looking around We're also looking for if something's finished or unfinished as far as the space itself. If you look around in the home here on the first floor, you can see that we have a finished floor, we have carpet, we have tile, there's drywall, it's been painted, there's finishes like cabinets and trim and all that. So this would all count as heated and finished area because we have that heating and air supply and a finished space. But if we were looking at this space and it didn't have flooring, or it was missing cabinetry, or if it didn't have any trim or paint on the walls, that kind of thing, it might be hard to consider this area as finished space, and you'd have to really be careful about how you were claiming that square footage. Here on the second floor, I'm doing the same thing. I'm checking for supply vents, where the heating and air is coming in. I'm also looking at the level of finish within the property, making sure that we've got finished walls with trim and flooring and stuff like light fixtures. Quick note, this is the master closet. There is a heating and air supply right here, but because this is a closet serving this bedroom, you do not have to have a supply for this to count as heated square footage. As we move into the master bath, just a quick point of note, they do have an air supply here, and they also have one inside of the water closet right there. The water closet is kind of the same way as the closet for your clothes in the master. This is attached to this bathroom, so you don't actually have to have a supply in there, even though it can be closed off unto itself. It's considered portion of the bathroom, so it doesn't have to have its own separate supply. This one does, but you don't have to have one. All right, so we're up here on the second floor, and I'm trying to determine how far from the outside corner of the house back to where it bumps out on the second floor. I'll show you on the drawing in a second. But what I can do here is I can get the measurement from the inside and then add the thickness of the exterior wall back in down here to get my total distance to where it bumps out. So I've got an inside measurement of 12 feet 1 inch, and that exterior wall is an additional 6 inches. So I'm actually 12 feet 7 inches on this run right here, and I'll show you how that translates onto the sketch. The measurement we just got, that 12 feet 7 inches, is from this corner out to this corner, but we were able to determine that by shooting a laser from this wall back over to this wall and then adding in the thickness of the wall here. Something else is going to be a little confusing. We're on the second floor. There's this portion that bumps out here, but we can't get out on the roof to measure that. So how are we going to figure that out? We're actually going to shoot from this back wall here out to the front on this side of the wall, and then we'll go on the other side and shoot, and we'll take that difference, and that difference is actually the measurement from here on this corner back here to here. So let me show you how that works. I will take my laser and I'm going to shoot from this corner here out, and I've got 12 feet 10 inches, and then I'm going to subtract that 12 feet 10 inches from the measurement we get on the other side of the wall. So we just slide right around the corner into this bedroom, and we measure from this wall out, and we have 13 feet 3 inches, sorry, 13 feet 10 inches. Laser took a second. So that's actually exactly a 1 foot difference. This was 1310, on the other side of the wall was 1210. So that little distance right there is actually just 1 foot. But we were able to determine that from the inside, even though we're on the second floor and we can't stand on the roof, we can still determine that by measuring from the interior. Here we stand back at the front of the house. I've got a completed hand-drawn sketch. I'm going to transfer this into a computer CAD program that's going to dial in my square footage down to a part of a square foot, so I make sure that I'm completely accurate in my representation of the square footage. I go around one last time and double check that I have measurements on every single area, and then I will be able to put that in accurately to the computer. If I'm missing anything, this would be my chance to go back and get that measurement now before I leave. So do make sure always that you check your sketch before you depart. I'm just trying to save you time. Thanks for joining us on how to measure a single family detached home here in the state of North Carolina. I'm Jordan Flair with A Measure Up.